Hello and welcome to this Boxing Insider special where today we are at the London Hard Rock Hotel to meet Larry Holmes, a man who shared the boxing ring with the likes of Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield and the only man to have ever knocked out Muhammad Ali. Larry's here today in London to celebrate his 40th anniversary heavyweight classic win over Gerry Cooney. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video because we'll be asking Larry how the likes of Tyson Fury would have fared back then in his golden era. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of this brilliant content that we've got coming up over the next few weeks. Well, Larry Holmes, first of all, an absolute pleasure to meet an absolute legend of boxing. How are you enjoying London, first of all?
Hey, let me tell you something. I like London.
Yeah.
It's a nice town, but you're going to have to do me a favor.
Go on.
If you see a guy named Spencer over there, tell him I'm going to punch him out because he ain't called me in a while.
We can tell him.
You hear me, Spencer? You got to give me a couple of jobs over there so I can come over there and sell whatever I got to sell.
Look, Larry, the reason we're here today, 40 years since your fight with Gerry Cooney. 40 years? Does it feel like 40 years ago?
No.
No?
You know, and Jerry makes it easy, because you can do things with him, tell jokes, talk about him, and he'll do the same thing back to you. So it's great, I come up here and Jerry's here, it just makes my whole day.
I mean, the fights that you had some huge and incredible ones with some of the biggest names to have ever stepped into a boxing ring. But why do you think it is 40 years on? This fight is one that we speak about still to this day.
Because Ali was one of the greatest fighters in the world, in my opinion. And a lot of people that argue with me tell me he's not and haven't been the greatest fighter in the world. But we all have opinions. But I like it. I like doing what I'm doing. And I hope you enjoyed interviewing me. And when you go home, say, hey, Pop, hey, Mom, check this out. If they approve it, then you're all right.
That's enough for me. So talking about Gerry Cooney and the relationship you have, 40 years on, you're still really good friends. Did you remain friends with lots of the guys that you fought like Gerry?
Yeah, one guy, Jody Ballard.
Yeah.
Talks, runs his mouth and do stupid stuff. And we overlook that, but he's the only one that gets away with a lot of the stuff that we talk about.
Larry, you mentioned Muhammad Ali already, and I'm sure you've been asked about him a million times before. The only guy to have ever stopped him. But you mentioned he was the greatest of all time. So where does that rank you then?
Second greatest.
Yeah?
I don't mind being the second greatest. Muhammad Ali was my friend. He was a guy that gave me a job, gave me opportunity, and a guy to give me more recognition by getting in the ring with me. Fighting Muhammad Ali was great, man. Getting to know him was great. My mom was crazy about him, and so was I. So Muhammad Ali, so rest in peace.
I mean, we've got Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield.
Mike Tyson.
It was an incredible era, wasn't it, Larry? What was it like fighting back then with all these guys? Did you realise as well at the time that the golden era that you were fighting in? Because we've not seen anything like it since, really, have we?
I didn't know, and we probably never will, because there ain't nobody out there but Mike Tyson. And he makes his news by jumping over top of cars, putting his footprints in their cars and on the seat and breaking windows. I don't know, and I probably shouldn't have a right to talk about him like that, but he don't do right. And boxing is going to be boxing, and we're going to try to keep it going like it's going.
I want to ask you about a couple of the current heavyweights.
I don't know none.
Hey, I'm sure you've heard of a guy called Tyson Fury, right?
Yeah.
It's natural, isn't it, when we have world champions and guys who are dominating like we have with Tyson Fury at the moment. And a question I'm going to throw to you, Larry, is how do you think Tyson would have done back in your era?
He won he wouldn't have done well.
No?
No, because he's big and strong, but we were big and we're strong and we're experienced, and we took little things and made big things out of them, Tyson Fury is a good guy, nice guy, but he still got out to learn to catch up to us.
And that's the thing, I'm looking at that era. Why do you think that you would have beaten Tyson Fury? I mean, you had a famous jab, up on your toes, moving around. These are the kind of things that Tyson can do, right?
Yeah, no.
No?
No, he can't.
Not to the same level.
No, not at the same level. Now, you ever seen him get up on his toes and dance and circle?
Maybe not quite like you, Larry, but I've seen him dance a little bit.
And jabs, throw the jab, whop, throw that, whop.
Still popping.
Pumping that jab. He don't do that. No, and that's one of the things that you got to do so you can get up and be with us.
But do you think that right now he is the best heavyweight in the world?
I can't tell you that because I don't know. I don't watch him that much. I don't watch him that much.
So just going back then to your career, let's talk about the likes of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, because Larry, we'll talk about this fight. You were both unbeaten going into this. Did you understand the significance at the time of the fact that you both were unbeaten?
Yeah, I knew that, and I shouldn't have fought the fight because I wasn't ready for it. But, when somebody throw a lot of money in front of you, that takes all the other stuff out of the way. So I took it, and I lost. But again, I don't regret it because I lost against a guy at that time was good. He was on fire. So.
And back in the day, fighting at the likes of Caesar's Palace, what was that like?
Great.
Yeah.
You hear your name singing the song, ain't no stopping us now. That was my theme song. And they were there, and they, carried along, and the people were there, and everybody showed up to see me get whooped or see me whoop somebody. It was good.
And back then as well, I think sometimes people forget, it was 15 rounds.
15 rounds.
That's a,
oh, Lord.
For someone of my age, I've only ever known really 12. 15 rounds is that's a lot of boxing, isn't it, Larry?
You're younger than me, and you couldn't go 5 rounds.
Absolutely. I can do one. I can do 10 seconds, Larry.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But see, incredible fitness, though, isn't it, back then, to think of 15 rounds when we watch it now?
It's hard. 15 rounds hard. You get tired. People say, oh, I could do that, I could do that. You can't do that. You can't do it unless you train for it, and so that you don't have to be shamed for it, Now,
I'm not sure if you saw this, Larry, but we had Lennox Lewis speaking to talkSPORT the other day, and he said that the only man who would have got him out of retirement to fight again was Tyson Fury. Now, I've already got your opinion on Tyson. And
Tyson Fury, they're good fighters. They're right where they're supposed to be, in the same bucket that they're all in.
Yeah.
And I had to fight to see who's going to come out on top. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you Tyson Fury going to win or.
No, but Larry, what I want to know is that I think your fighting days are over. I think it's fair to say.
Listen, I'm your grandfather already.
Yeah. Okay then. So if you were going to get back into the ring, or maybe a few years ago, Larry, you tell me.
What?
Is there anyone that you would have come out of retirement for? Who would you have maybe liked to have fought maybe again, or someone you didn't ever get the opportunity to fight, maybe after your era?
That's where I'll fight Tyson Fury and his boys, because they're young and they're not learned. They haven't totally learned. They're strong and they handle it, and people think they're doing great things because they cheer for them. But it's hard, and I really don't want to put a whole lot of stuff on them guys because they're trying hard too. They might want to be heavyweight champion of the world one day and be heavyweight champion of the world. and say Larry Holmes ain't nothing. I knock Larry Holmes out. And that's the way they might say it, but you know, I don't care. It ain't gonna hurt me none.
Well, look, Larry, you've been there, you've done it. You were world champion for a long time and beat some of the absolute greatest to have ever stepped in the ring. I have to say it's an absolute pleasure meeting you today. Congratulations on this 40th anniversary tour with yourself and Jerry, and I wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you very much, and appreciate it, because Jerry and I are friends, and we ain't gonna fight nobody. We may argue with them, but we ain't gonna fight with them. But it's good, and everything is going good. And here in the place, they really nice to us. They give us this space to do what we're doing here, and you can't beat it.
Well, I really enjoyed meeting Larry Holmes today, an absolute legend of heavyweight boxing. Really interested to hear him say that he didn't think that Tyson Fury would be able to compete back in that golden era of heavyweight boxing with the likes of Tyson, Holyfield, Ali, and of course himself. I think he probably would do just about okay, Tyson Fury, but let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and then you won't miss out on any of the brilliant content that we've got coming up right here on the Boxing Insider.